Some people feel like Skycoin is so undervalued. All it needs is some real marketing behind it to turn holders into millionaires. What do you say to those people?
I think that I think that just if we did nothing, right, and we just rode the bubble, I think that, in my personal opinion, I'm not giving financial advice. I don't want the SEC to come after me, but uh, the my personal opinion is that when the bubble comes back, we're gonna pass the all-time high. So we were at $50 all-time high before, and if we do not pass that all-time high again, if we don't go from 60 cents to $50 in the next bubble when everything is going crazy, we have done something wrong. I think also, based on the last bubble, we were talking to there's like Swiss investors and people in Zurich, a lot of very old, very wealthy European people. They own like trucking companies and shipping companies and flour mills and aluminum smelting operations and like cobalt mines and things like that. These are really in the dirt investors. They're not up there in the financial markets, right? They're buying gold, they're buying silver, they're buying mines, they're buying shipping companies, right? And these guys, they're saying we want to get into crypto. And there was this group, and there's a big group, eh, some $1 trillion investment fund, and they have a trading group that does their markets and buying and selling for them. Then they created a subsidiary to do crypto, to get in the crypto market. And they were looking at all the crypto and they were saying, there's nothing here. And they said, we want commodity backed crypto. We want something tangible. We want to know what the price to this thing is going to be linked to. Like for gold, they can say, here's the production, here's the consumption. India imported this much gold. The Chinese government bought this much gold. The Chinese people bought this much gold jewelry. They bought this much gold for investment. They know what the supply is and the demand, and they know that so they can sit down and with a calculator calculate what the price should be, right?
Mhm.
they but they can't do that for crypto, so they said we want commodity backed crypto. And so we were talking to them, and our crypto was backed by bandwidth, so they really like this. It's like, oh, networking services, they say that's tangible. We can measure how many users you have, we can measure what your growth rate is. And the idea is, if we're growing at 10% a month, if we're expanding our number of nodes and number of users on the network consuming resources, then economic activity is increasing 10% per month. So their price benchmark should be increasing 10% per month, right? So this idea is, once we have a tangible economic usage, they can then compute what the fair price should be, and they can arbitrage it, and there's a guidance range. But right now they don't have any of the core metrics they need to say that the crypto is backed by anything, or and this was the problem across the whole market. So once we get into that space, once we're operating as a network service provider, and all of this stuff is in place and people are using it and it's growing, we get listed on there. That opens the gate for institutional investors, and like family office says we want to put 0.4% of our money into crypto. They go to this investment advisor, they say, here's what we have, and here's what we're tracking, and they say we don't trust any of these because we don't have any data showing why it's going to go up. And but this one's, and they have two or three of them that are commodity backed, and they'll say, well, the amount of economic activity or adoption is growing at this percent, so we assume that the growth rate is going to be 30% per year. And they say, oh, 30% per year, 30% is good, because they're looking for anything over 4%. Remember, they're getting 0% interest loans. They borrow money here and invest it over here at 12%. They borrow
Mhm.
here at 2%, invest here at 12%. So if there's anything tangible that can generate a positive return that's above 8%, they're really happy. And that's going to be and that opens up this ridiculous floodgate to basically trillions of the way that it's structured right now. Crypto is not designed to take the type of money that is being invested in the bonds and real estate and stock market, where in the real estate market, a company will come in and they will buy, like the TARP bailout, and they'll buy 25,000 houses to rent them out, renovate them, buy them, hold them, sell them. And if you and you, really, the scale of the crypto market for financial markets is very small. We're dealing with $200 billion. BlackRock is managing 15 trillion, $16 trillion. The pension fund for like Los Angeles firefighters and some Texas firefighters, the company managing the fund for that is like $1 trillion. and what is another company is like 800 billion. So just one little pension fund management company can be 3 or 4 times the total market cap of the whole crypto market. So in terms of the global financial markets, in terms of the amount of money, people don't even understand how big they are, and they don't understand how small crypto is. So one of the things that I built Skycoin for was to meet the requirements for that market. That's why I focused on sort of core economic activity and corporations and monetizable economic activity and things that we can charge that can generate service fees and things like that. Instead of charging for the blockchain, we say give it for free, no fees, no gas, and we get users by producing social media apps here. But these users aren't going to pay anything, and they're not even going to buy Skycoin. But it promotes the Skycoin brand, and it improves the world, and it's just something that needs to be done. And then over here we have like an NGO stuff, like going to Africa and doing rural broadband projects and wiring up schools with like low cost mesh networking equipment for the developing world, and working with the NGO SDG goals, because it looks good. We don't make money on that, but it gets us in there, it lets us talk to governments, and this brings in, we do this project with a school, and then they say, oh, but we also want every police station in the country to have this thing, or can you put this on our boats? And like, yeah, we can do that. And it brings in other contracts, right? So you have the, and then you have the corporate side, which is like a company that's running 10,000 locations, and they just want their own virtual network, and they're going to be upgrading, and they want to get rid of Cisco MPLS. And we say, here, it's free, it's cheaper, it's faster, it's open source, and they're going to do it, and they can use it. So because in China, like Cisco hardware is being banned. So if you're a corporation and you have a network, and you can't use Cisco MPLS if you have an office in China, because they're going to ban it. So everyone has to go to open standards, right? Because of regulatory requirements, government requirements, new laws that are being passed. So on one hand, we have the social media apps to get a lot of users. We have the NGO stuff just to look good and sort of do business development. We have the corporate stuff, which is probably where most of the money is going to come from. And then we have consumer, which is like VPN and things like where people are using it for like gaming VPNs, or just using it as a VPN app. And then we have also other companies building blockchain applications like MDL.life, building like a sort of a talent search, talent hub, like type thing. So there's different segments, and what I didn't like about crypto is each company only is doing like one little segment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in the market that we're in now, it's really too early to say that this is going to be the big use of crypto and this is what the killer application of crypto is. I think that crypto is still a problem. It's still a solution searching for a problem. We have the solution, but we don't know what the problem that it solves is. It's like when the laser was invented. We have this new thing, but we don't know what it does yet.
Yeah.
So this is we don't know where crypto, where blockchain, and where these technologies are going to be adopted in society. So what you want to build is a core infrastructure that can support a lot of different experimentation, and then you want to see what actually works in the real world.
Well said, for sure.